So this might not be the most popular opinion out there. In fact, it's probably not even a good opinion to have in the first place. But I'm going to say it. I honestly like this movie better than the original. Yeah. From both a story perspective and even in some cases a character perspective, I think Predator 2 is superior to Predator. Does that mean Predator is bad? No, that movie is awesome. I love it, and I loved it ever since I saw it as a kid, and I still love it to this day. Yeah. Here's the thing, though. Why do I like this one so much? Why do I think the sequel is better than the original? Well, a few reasons, and they're pretty simple. One, straight up from the beginning of the movie, it's clear this is supposed to be a Predator movie. The first one, you can make the argument that it was almost it was like a big commando movie, and then all of a sudden, boom, Alien. This one, it's like from the word go, they know, yeah, alien killing stuff, let's go. And they set up some interesting ideas. They set up, gang wars. They set up crime lords. They set up corrupt politicians. They set up all this stuff, which is pretty much meant to lampoon and satire the ideas of those heavy cop shows of the 80s and 90s. And then go, so what if we do that, but we add a dreadlocked alien that rips your spine out into that mix? And it works. All the characters in here are awesome. I really enjoyed these characters. I liked Mike Harrigan a lot because he is both the hard-hitting, gritty cop, but at the same time, he's actually a really nice guy. Peter Keyes was the whole, the government agent who's trying to be subtle and doesn't want people to find out what they're doing kind of character, and he plays it great. Leona Cartel, she's a no-nonsense cop character who has some good lines, but is still entertaining to watch. Even all the bad guys, like King Willie, is really likable for the very short time we get to see him. El Scorpio, he's crazy over the top. He's kind of a Danny Trejo type, which is ironic if you know what the next review will be and you know that movie. The characters work. Again, they're not the deepest, the most backstory. And they don't need to be, though, because it's very much a action-driven movie. And the action is great. I love the character that they decide to expand on the idea of the Predator. They even bring up some stuff that you would never think to ask. They go oh yeah, by the way, this thing, it likes meat. Okay, that makes sense if you know the character and all. But you'd never really stop and think, do these guys eat anything? What's with that? You wouldn't really think about that. But this movie does, and it answers it for you. They talk about do they only hunt in the jungle, or what else do they do? No. They end up completely saying, you know what, anything can be a jungle. This is the, quote-unquote, concrete jungle. In fact, that actually led to a pretty decent video game. It has really bad controls in some cases, but the game itself is still pretty fun, and I really wish it would have been re-released. Granted, I do own a copy of it, and I'm happy about that, because the game is pretty fun once you can understand the slightly annoying controls. But yeah, it continues building on the mythology, the ideas of they won't kill a pregnant woman or they won't kill anyone who's unarmed. They build on all that. Again, they have great one-liners, awesome action sequences, and great acting. Once again, all the actors in this do a fantastic job for what it is. Again, it's not here's some Oscar-worthy performances. It's not that, and it isn't really supposed to be that. It's very much we're here, we're going to have some fun, we're going to give you some good scenes, let's roll. And they do just that. Once again, Kevin Peter Hall returns to play the Predator, sadly for the only other time he will, which is quite sad, as I mentioned before. But again, he does great. Danny Glover is awesome in this. Gary Busey, he's not completely insane, and it's pretty interesting. It's a good character. Ruben Blades, Bill Paxton, Robert Davey, Kent McCord, Calvin Lockhart, all these actors do a great job. Henry Kingi, I think I have to give a special shout out to, as this insane, coked out, cocaine kingpin. It's good, it's fun, it's entertaining. What else do you really need from it? The special effects, once again, are awesome. I love the design of the Predator in this movie. There's some great shots. There's some awesome practical effects. They get a whole bunch of people in costumes at the end. The sets, the skulls and stuff on the walls, they all look awesome. If I really have anything to complain about this movie, it is the fact that at certain points, it just kind of seems to be very by the numbers. That's not a bad thing, but even with this whole, like, new setting and all that, it's still very much, okay, alien shows up, people die. They don't try and do a whole lot of, like, new or really original things with it. But at the same time, the franchise was taking off at this point. In fact, this movie heavily inspired the Alien vs. Predator comics and eventually the movies. So I'm not going to judge it too hard, but it is very predictable. It is very easy to tell what's going to happen when. It doesn't do much to shake up any old formulas, but at the same time, it doesn't really need to, because it's just plain fun. The camera work is decent and fine. The CG effects look okay, but it's been like... And how long has it been since this one came out? $1990. It's been 28 years. So, again, this was a film from the 90s. So, it is what it is. The soundtrack is pretty good, actually. None of it's like totally memorable and all that, but it still is something I do remember enjoying. Camera work is great. Lighting is great. Can I recommend Predator 2? Yeah. A lot of people really don't seem to like this movie, and I don't know why. Predator 2, not only is it just a fine sequel, but it's a fine movie. In fact, in some places, it's better than the original. Again, though, I'm only going to give it 3 Raptor Claws out of 4, because, like I said, it is quite predictable and all that. So, it's entertaining, though. Like Predator, I can put on any time of the day, in any mood, sit down, and enjoy it thoroughly. And, yeah. Honestly, this is kind of where the Predator franchise really started to take off. Because of this, we started getting, more comics, more spin-offs, like crossovers and stuff like that. Because of all that, this really did help build the franchise. 3 years later, it's a fine sequel, and I can recommend it to people who saw the original and thought it was good. But yeah, next time, Dino Dudes, is the 199th episode. Should be pretty obvious what it is. But until then, Dino Dudes, keep cool, and I'll see all you guys around. Later.